the macro. So in C, you have learned the structure, union, pointer. Similarly, macro is another feature of C language. Okay, you can define function, you can define macro, which are the advantage that one of the advantage we have discussed in the last lecture. So the macro, basically we can classify macro in different types like simple macro, argumented macro, nested macro. Today we are going to discuss the another types of macro. Okay, and file inclusion macro. Okay, now those who are absent for this, and this is important. This you cannot find from your book. Okay, compiler basically compile the program. When you type any program, first line is has include stdio.h. So you need to add the header file in your program. But who is going to add this header file? So preprocessor basically add this header file, and compiler only compiles the program. Okay, compiles program is check for syntax error. If there is no syntax error, then the object code of your code is generated. Program is generated. Now if object code is created, now you have used different inbuilt function like printf, scanf, strcpy. So these functions are available in form of object code in a standard library. So we need to connect these different object code together, so we can use linker. Linker links the different object code together, so we can get the appropriate output of our program. So when you type any program, first we need preprocessor, then we need compiler, and then we need the linker to create the final exe if you are using Windows system. If you are using Linux system, then that is a.out, the executable file. Okay. So these are different tools: preprocessor, compiler, and linker. Now, last time we have discussed this hash define. Usually, this hash define is used to define the symbolic constant. Now, this is the syntax. There is no space between hash sign and define this keyword. Okay, then we need one space, name of the identifier. Then we need one space, and then you need to provide string. In string, you can write the integer value. You can write anything. Okay. So we have discussed few examples in last lecture. Again today we are going to discuss another examples. So hash define identifier string. This is a syntax of the simple macro. Okay. Now these are different classifications: simple macro substitution, argumented macro substitution, nested macro substitution, simple macro has defined by 3.1412. So here has defined, then we need one space, then the name of the identifier, then space. Here in string you can provide anything. So here you, in this example I have provided the floating value. In second example, the integer value. In third example, this is what string, you can write anything. Okay, so start. So start is the name of the macro, or you can say identifier. Okay, identifier is nothing but used for naming different variables. So start is a macro, stop is a macro, and its values are the closing brace and main, like this. Okay, then argumented macro. So in argumented macro, we are using this parenthesis. Left parenthesis mandatory to define the argumented macro. Here the multiple arguments are separated by comma, or you can say parameters are separated by comma, and then you need to write the string. Okay, so one of the example is like, let's say has defined cube x, then this is the value of this macro, or you can say string of this macro. Okay, now how to use this macro in your program? This is known as a macro is called. Okay, like function is called. Okay, if you write one statement inside your program, then function is called, then your control is transferred from one point to another point. Similarly here, if you write like this, then you are calling the macro. Macro is called cube. Now the preprocessor read this statement. Okay, first define this macro, then replace this macro with its string. So here you can see cube side. So what would be replacement? Replacement would be like this: volume equal to, so in parenthesis, because we have used parenthesis here, so the first left parenthesis instead of x, side will be there. So side asterisk sign, then instead of x, side will be there, and instead of another x, the side will be there. Okay, then this semicolon is not part of this string. This semicolon is part of this programming statement. Okay, so like this, the macro preprocessor will expand this particular statement. So preprocessor is a tool and macro is a feature. Nested macro. So we are using the definition of one macro inside the another definition of the macro. So for example, cube. If we want to find the cube, and for that we are using nested macro. So has defined cube, then in parenthesis x square, in parenthesis x asterisk sign x. Okay. So here the preprocessor look for the definition of this macro. Okay, if definition is available, then it will be replaced by its value. Any doubt? Hello? Any doubt? This is what we have discussed in last lecture. That's why I'm going fast. Any doubt in these points?
No, sir.
Okay. So last time we have discussed the first point. Macro is pre-processed. Before compilation of program, we need to use preprocessor, and preprocessor do some different actions. So macro is pre-processed. Function is compiled by the compiler. Okay. Then using macro, it's increase the code length. Okay. Using function keeps the code length unaffected. Now how to understand this? So if you use macro, let's say you are defining constant. Okay. Here I have used different constant. Okay. Let's say so I'm going to observe 5 on my output screens, but you can directly write 5 instead of defining the constant. So basically you are increasing the length of the code. Length, you can say size also, because if you increase the length means you are increasing the size also. Okay, you can verify in folder. So the second point is what? Using macro increases the code length. Now can you tell me why if you use multiple function it would not affect the code length? Can you tell me? Hello. If we use the multiple function definition, then it is not going to increase the function length. Why? Anyone? Now you can understand.
Because we are using macro.
No. Macro is a different thing. Suppose, let's say we have a, for example, in string.h, we have a multiple functions. Okay. Those functions you are not using in your code. You are using, let's say, only strcpy, but we have a strcmp also. We have a different multiple function in string.h standard header file. Okay. So why it would not increase the length? Because if you write like this strcpy, this is already part of strcpy is already part of standard C library. Okay. So basically the control compiler read the statement and control is transferred to that particular function. Okay, so that's why it will not increase the length of the code. Am I clear? Am I clear about this? Hello?
सर,
Yes.
लेंथ ऑफ कोड का मतलब क्या है कि जो हम ये प्रोग्राम लिख रहे हैं उसके जो हम सिंटेक्स फॉर्मेट वो इंक्रीज हो रहा है, ऐसा है कुछ?
Length of code means you can say size also. Like let's say this is what you are storing approximately 20 characters. To store 20 characters, how many bytes we need? 20 in our system. Yes or no?
यस सर.
Huh. So after compilation of this code, we are creating exe, and exe itself is a final output version of our code. Okay, to store that we need the code length. To store that exe, we need some memory location in our computer systems. Okay, wait. What I'm going to do, I will explain second point with one example in next lecture. Remind me. Okay, so I will design the program using macro and function to clarify about this doubt. Okay, okay.
Okay, sir.
Speed of execution using macro is faster. Now here you can see, um, yes. So first, the preprocessor will replace P with its value 5. Now you are going to compile this. Okay. Obviously execution would be faster. Now if you use function, then what would be the scenario? Here, let's say function name is ABC. Compiler read this, create the object code. Now, when during execution, whenever the this line is there, then the control is transferred to that particular function. Okay, let's say this is the definition of this function. Allocation of different memory for local variable for this function, then some programming statement would be there, and after executing this programming statement, okay, here the basically memory is destroyed for the local variables, and then control is transferred back to the this particular line. So execution of function is always slower compared to the macro. Before compilation, macro name is replaced by macro value. So we have discussed this. Now during function call, the transfer of control takes place from one point to another point like this. Okay. Macro are useful when small code is repeated many times. Functions are useful when large code is to be written. Suppose we want to design, let's say macro to find the largest number, so we can use macro. But if you want to design the scientific calculator, then we need to design basic calculator. We need to design additional feature like calculating sine, cosine, different values. So in those scenario, we need the function. We cannot use macro. Okay, macro does not check any compile time errors. Function check compile time errors. Again, the last point and second point I will discuss with one example in the next lecture. Okay. Write a program to find largest of three number using macro with argument and conditional operator. Let's try to find solution of this question. Write a program to find largest of three number. This is not three integer, okay? So write a program to find the largest of three number using macro with argument and the conditional operator. You have 2 minutes. Please try to find the solution. Okay, so now compare your solution with this answer. Okay, has include stdio.a include standard input output header file. Now this is a macro in which I am using the concept of argumented macro and the conditional operator or ternary operator. Okay, so here this macro can be useful to find the maximum number out of any three number or largest number out of any three number. That number may be integer, that number may be real value. Okay, so any doubt in this? Because you already know the ternary operator, conditional operator. Okay, let's say these are the different variable declaration x, y, and z. The value of x is 55.3, y is 45.2, and z is 77.9, and the bij is the additional variable, temporary variable. Okay, similarly here I, j, k, the values are 20, 95, and 10 respectively, and the max is declared as a integer. This would not work in a Linux system, CLR, SCR. This is specifically related to the conio.h header file. Big equal to largest. Now here the preprocessor will replace with a string. So what you are passing? You are passing xyz. The value of xyz is 55.3, 45.2, and 77.9. That would be stored inside a, b, c respectively. And instead of this line, the preprocessor will write this line. Okay, and then compiler is going to compile this. Okay, if there is no syntax error, then we have object code. So during execution, basically you can find the largest number out of these three number. Similarly, you can find the largest out of three integer also. Okay, so this is the simple question. We write a program to find largest of three number using macro with argument and conditional operator. Okay. Now, in last lecture, we have discussed about these different macros. So these are the different examples. Okay, here has defined test. We can use define to define the different constant. Now here we are using test and we are storing string. Okay, if if then the parenthesis x, so these all are characters, so we are storing string. Okay, we can write like this. Then this is the second example in which I am storing nothing. Okay, so here you can write like this also. This is a third example. So in this you can write like this also. Okay, this is considered as a string. So how to use this? What we can write? Test and print. If we write test and print, then this would be replaced by this. If x greater than y, then the value of n is nothing. Okay, or you can write space also as a character, single character. Then print. Okay, so instead of print we have a this type of statement. So these are multiple examples. Okay, now similarly you can write the expression also. You can write strings also. You can write the expression like this: 5 into 12.46. You can write value also like this. Okay, single value. Okay, now here the value of m is 5. Now the second line has defined n m plus 1, m plus 1. So we are using nested macro concept to define the value of n. Okay, again square x. So this is a simple macro. To define q, we are using the definition of another macro, square x. So this is the concept of nested macro. Similarly, this is the concept of nested macro. Okay, now here you need to observe, can we use keyword like you have learned size of, which is an operator in a C language? Can we use? Yes, we can use. Okay, literally you can write anything in a string of this macro. Okay, any macro like this. So this is example of what we are using, size of the keyword. In parenthesis int is also keyword, then that is multiplied with 4. So asterisk is also the character. So we are storing keyword anything inside value of this macro. Can we use the different operator? Yes, we can use the different operators also, like equal to ampersand, logical and, the logical or, not equal to, exclamation mark equal to. We can write like this also. Okay, so we can store anything inside this macro. Now we have discussed this. Okay, the cube. We have discussed the cube macro in which we are using the definition of another macro square x. So how preprocessor would expand this cube macro? Okay, let's discuss once again. Suppose the preprocessor expand the hash defined macro until no more macro appear in the text. Okay, no more macro appear in the text. So here you can see we have a square. So instead of square, okay, now the preprocessor will expand this. Instead of cube, it will consider this square x, then square itself is a another macro. So again preprocessor will expand. Instead of square, we have a this statement. Okay, so you need to remember this. The preprocessor expand each defined macro until no more macro appear in the text. In the text. Okay, now some corner cases are there. Let's say for example, whenever we use expression for replacement, care should be taken to prevent unexpected order of the evolution. Consider, let's say, ratio equal to d by a, ratio equal to d by a. Now ratio, okay. So here what I'm going to write like this. Let's say a by b. Forty-five minus 22. 45 minus 22, comma 78 plus 32. Okay. What's your answer? Please do this calculation. What's your answer? 45 minus 22.
सर डिपेंड करता है रेशियो फ्लोट वैल्यू है कि इंटीजर वैल्यू.
So let's say 45 minus 22. Okay. 40, oh sorry, 45 minus 22. 23. 78 plus 32. 110.
0.2.
Wait a minute. Divided by 110. 0.2. Yes. So are we going to get correct answer for this? Why we are not getting correct answer? Anyone?
सर वो इंटीजर r इक्वल टू 2.
We are not using R. Skip that. Ne? That is not the issue. This is correct answer as per compiler and as per the book also. Okay. Still we are not getting. So our understanding is wrong. What we need to do? We need to use the parenthesis appropriate place. Otherwise, we have this type of situation. Okay. So let me use parenthesis. Still we are not getting 45 minus 22, 70. Okay.
Sir,
Wait a minute. Yes. 45.
typecast.
Yes, typecasting. So we need to consider that also. -45 minus 22. That is what the 23. Okay. So let's discuss this scenario. Now here we are providing these. So how the preprocessor is going to replace the macro? Okay. Instead of ratio, we have this situation. The first parenthesis. Okay, and then like this. Okay. So now you can see 45 minus 22, that would be 23. Okay. Then divided by 110. So here, as per arithmetic, the calculation, okay, we are dividing integer with integer. We are dividing integer with integer. So we should get integer as an answer. That's why we are getting 0. We are getting 0. Let me change. Okay. So now clear, we are getting 0.208711. So how to verify? Let's say 45 minus 22, 23. Okay, 23 divided by 110.20. So 0.2087. 0.20. Yes, so that we are getting. Okay. Now let's remove the parenthesis. Now you can understand what we are doing. We are doing some wrong calculation. If you are not using parentheses, then we are not going to get the appropriate answer. Okay, this is true. Okay, what we want to do, we want to do this type of task. 45 minus 22. Okay, that would be 23, and 23 is divided by the summation of these two numbers. Okay, now here, as per arithmetic rules, okay, the preprocessor do what? Like this. Okay. Now you can see we have a summation, subtraction, and the division. So which action we need to perform first? Division, subtraction, or addition?
Division.
Okay. So division. Yes. So now you can understand that's why we are getting the different answer. Ideally we should get 0 point something, but here we are getting 77. So always use parentheses. If you don't know how to write the macro, always use parentheses everywhere like this. It would resolve the problem. So now we are getting the correct answer, 0.2087. Now the next, file inclusion directives. External file containing functions or macro definition can be linked with our program so that there is no need to write function and macro definition again. For example, strcpy is already there. So what you are doing? You are just adding one header file. So how to add that header file? We are using has include. So for file inclusion directives, this is the keyword has include. You can write in angle bracket or you can write in the double quote. There is minor difference between the first line and the second line. Okay, so we can use has include directive to include any file. What is the advantage? If we use, let's say, if we define macro or function in that file, we can use those definition inside our program. Instead of redefining the definition of function or macro, we can use the that file directly, okay, if we use hash include directive. So we can use either of the above statement to link our program with other files. Now what is the difference? In 2 mark question, sometimes this type of question would be there in your exam. What is the difference between the double quote and the angle bracket? Okay, if the file name is included in the double quote, the file is searched in the local directory. If the file name is included in angular bracket, then the file is searched in the standard directories. Okay, for example, stdio.h is a part of standard directory, so I can write like this. Let's say I want to add another file. I can use this directive. Now, okay, so this file is not available. If this file is, so sio.h, basically here the code block looks for this header file in local library. Which local library? You can say visit this corner and you can find exe1 is a local folder. In that particular folder, compiler look for this header file. If this header file or this particular file is available, then this would be added. Otherwise this is not added. So you are going to observe the error message, yeah, like this: no such file or directory. Okay, no such file or directory. You can add another exe also, sorry, another C file also like this. Let me check. Exe1, yes, so let me add one of the C file, ext2.c. So you can see I have added ext2.c, which is a part of the same folder. Okay, so this way you can add. Now if you use this file to define any function, you can directly use inside this program, like string.h. okay, so you are adding that header file in order to use different function like strcpy, strcmp. okay, so this way we can include any file or link any file with our program. Okay? Compiler control directives. Now another corner case, you cannot include this file itself, like main.c, which is also part of same directory, but you cannot include the same file. Okay, now you can see we have hanged the code blocks. Okay, you cannot include this same file. Okay, compiler control directives. Now sometimes we want to check whether one particular macro definition is there or not. We can use this hash define, if define. Okay, if def stands for define. Okay, then we can use the end if, specify the end of this if, specify the end of this particular if. Similarly, if n stands for not defined, test whether a macro is not defined. This particularly test the macro for test for a macro definition. This would test for macro whether a macro is not defined. As if test compile time condition. As else specify alternative when if fails. Okay, let's discuss with the example so we can understand how to use this compiler controller directives. Okay, let's say we have a different situation in which we want to use this type of the compiler controller directive. Situation 1, suppose you have included a file containing some macro definition. It is not known whether a certain macro has been defined in that header file. For example, the string.h, so in which, let's say, assume that strcmp is a one macro. Now you want to check whether that macro is defined or not. So what we can do, so for that, however, you want to be certain that the macro is defined. This situation refers to conditional definition of a macro, and we can use this type of structure. As include define.h. If not defined, if test macro is not defined, then define test macro using hash define test and its value is 1. Then this is what the and if. Okay, once again, situation 1, we have included a file containing some macro definition. It is not known whether a certain macro has been defined in that particular header file. Okay, so however you want to be certain that the macro is defined, for that you can use this compiler controller directive. So we want to ensure that the macro test is always defined irrespective of whether it has been defined in header file or not. Suppose the test is defined in header file, then okay, then the preprocessor would not act on this. If the test is not defined, then preprocessor will define the test macro. Okay, define the test macro. So define.h is the header that is supposed to contain the definition of test macro. Okay, supposed to contain the definition of test macro. However, the directive has has if not defined. IF and DEF tests search the definition of test in the header file. If it is not defined, then all the lines between if not defined and the corresponding and if corresponding, this is indicate start of the macro, this indicate end of the macro. This way you can remember in layman terms. Okay, so between the if not defined and the corresponding and the directives are executed in the program. This is the situation 1. Situation 2. Suppose a customer has a two different types of computer and you are required to write a program that will run on a both system. You want to use same program, although certain lines of code must be different for each system. For example, if you know computer system, you can buy 32-bit OS, you can buy 64-bit OS also. Okay, for same manufacturer like HP provide the both type of OS, 32-bit OS, okay, and 64-bit OS for the Windows 10. Now sometimes you want to purchase HP laptop as well as the Lenovo laptop, okay, and you want to execute the same program. So what we can do? So we can use this type of situation, okay, if define. So here this is some line for IBM PC. This few line for IBM PC, okay, and hello, any doubt? Okay, if defined, so the this will check that IBM PC underscore PC is defined, then do this. If not defined, then do this. Okay, and this is indicate the end of this macro. And if situation 3, you are developing a program for selling in an open market. Some customer may insist on having certain additional features. However, you would like to have a single program that would satisfy both type of customers. Okay, this situation is similar to the previous situation. Therefore, the controller directives take the following form. Okay, IF, not IDF. IF has if defined ABC, then group A line, else group B lines. So this same program would work for both type of customers. Situation, okay. These are the different situation. Now we have discussed the compiler controller directives. Any doubt in this? Hello? Hello? Any doubt in this? Hello? Students, am I audible?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. So now let's few questions. Okay. Just listen. You need to tell whether the statement is true or false. state whether the following statements are true or false. The keyword hash defined must be returned starting from the first column. Is it true? State whether the following statements are true or false. These are unsolved exercise from your book. Okay, just tell me the keyword hash defined must be returned starting from the first column. True or false? Or in other words, can we use hash define to define constant anywhere in a C program? Can we use?
No, sir.
We cannot use. Okay, we need to define constant first, then we can use the name of the constant in a program. Okay, all the preprocessor directive begin with hash sign. Is it true? All the preprocessor directive begin with hash sign.
True.
True. Okay, the statement is true. The preprocessor directive are executed by the compiler with the same priority as the other statement within the main function. The preprocessor directives are executed by the compiler with the same priority as the other statement within the main function. Okay, priority would be high or low? Just tell me. Priority would be high or low? The preprocessor directives are executed by the compiler with the same priority as the other statement within the main function. Basically, let's say here you can see we have used this macro. Then what compiler is going to compile? Compiler is going to compile this statement like this. Okay, compiler is not going to compile this. So here priority would be same or different? Priority would be same or different? There is no.
Different. There
Why?
is
Why?
different.
Why different?
सर आपके केस में जो आपने बोला कि अगर हम उसको हाइड कर देते हैं प्रायोरिटी इसकी ज्यादा हो गई ना.
No. Let's say we have listen. Here, this is the statement. Okay, this is the original program. Now, preprocessor do what? Replace this argumented macro with its string. Okay, so instead of this, we have this type of program for the compilation. Okay. Now, is there any priority for compiling this line? There is no change of priority. Yes or no? Compiler is going to read this statement, and for compiler, the macro is not known. For preprocessor, macro is known, and the preprocessor do this task. Okay, and we are providing this type of program to the compiler. So there is no change in priority. Am I clear? आप कंपाइलर को क्या दे रहे हो? कंपाइलर को आप ये प्रोग्राम दे रहे हो, ये लाइन वाला. Yes or no? You are providing this type of program to compiler for the compilation. You are not providing. Yes or no? So
Yes, sir.
so there is no change in priority for this macro. Okay. Which of the following statement is incorrect about compiler controller directives? As if define as if DEF directive must be followed by and if directive. This is the first statement. If not defined directive must be followed by and if directive. Second statement. As undefined directive undefines the macro. If directive must be followed by else directive. Which of the following statement is incorrect? First statement, if defined directive must be followed by and if directive. Second, If not defined directive must be followed by NDIF directive. Third, as undefined directive undefines the macro. As if directive must
Has
be
undefined, sir, last
direct,
option, the has undefined
as
directive
undefined directive undefines the
and
macro.
define the macro.
Why that statement is incorrect?
Sir, because we doesn't use this undefined directory.
Okay, so maybe we didn't discuss about this as undefined. So again, only few topic left. We will discuss. We will meet you once again for 15 to 20 minutes for discussion of the chapter. Otherwise, your syllabus is over. Okay, we didn't discuss about this as undefined. So tomorrow we will discuss this as undefined, and then we will discuss this question once again. Okay, so we have discussed many points, and in tomorrow's lecture, I will discuss these two with one small program, second point, and the last point, and some small topic remain in your syllabus. You will get your slides tomorrow in Google Classroom. Sorry, in chat box. Okay. Okay. Thank you. You can leave.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.